Hello everybody, today I'm going to paint in this adorable little frog in watercolor. Now bear with me, this is on kind of crappy paper because I accidentally, during a demo, sketched this on the wrong pad. So this is actually just low quality mixed media paper, but we're going to do our best. We're going to make it work today. If anyone is curious about what kind of terrible paper we're using today, this is the Master's Touch Mixed Media Pad, size 11 by 14. 110 pound or 180 GSM. If you're curious what Master's Touch is, it is Hobby Lobby's store brand. If you are a New Englander, you probably know what Hobby Lobby is. Not sure where else it is in the country, but we have it over here in New Hampshire. So I'm just going to start out with a light wash just to fill in our base branch color here, and then we'll move into the background. This frog was just sketched in with a light mechanical graphite pencil and then lightly inked over with a Pigmographic archival ink pen. I do that a lot, usually when I'm doing water media. Going to fill something in with color is I'll do a light sketch just to kind of decide how I want things, and then once I have my final shapes and lines, I just kind of go over them with a bit of ink and then erase all of the pencil sketch lines just so I have kind of a cleaner final outline to work with. Alright, I'm just going to smooth this wash. I am going to probably experience a lot of paper buckling, unfortunately. Okay. And now I'm just going to kind of do something a little bit in the background. So I'm going to wet the paper. It's not going to like this at all. But let's wet the paper, and then we'll try to get in some kind of background. Now there's a lot of green in the frog, so I don't know if I probably don't want to go crazy with like a green background, or maybe something more neutral. And that might look nice with the frog. I could do like an earthy kind of brownish green. That'll probably be fine. Alright, let's do it. So the paints I'm using today are Michael Harding Watercolor. This is my newest set. I'll be reviewing different sets and showing other ones that I have later on the channel, but I figured this one would be good today because it is a larger piece. This is my biggest homemade palette, and these colors are very vibrant and lay on very nicely. So I've been pretty happy with them so far. I did one other painting with them. I thought they'd be great for the vibrant colors in this frog. I do have a more earthy set that I use from Daniel Smith, and a smaller travel set from Sennelier, but I felt this set was perfect. You'll see what I mean when I get into some of the brighter colors. Oh man, this paper is not liking all this water. Oh boy, we're in for it. Oh no, the buckling. Oh! Poor frog. I will for sure be using better paper for the next one. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, yep, definitely had to tape the edges of this paper. So we'll try to be a little more gentle with the water usage now. I'm gonna see if I can get on a nice kind of base green for our froggy here. We need to be a little bit more saturated. So I'll just use ultramarine and some cadmium yellow light. Maybe a little bit of cobalt teal. I think that might amp it up a little bit. Oh, there we go. It's a nice green. Okay. A bit less water this time. Poor froggy, I'm sorry. Sorry I drew you on such terrible paper. It's going to be a disaster. Nice kind of limey color there. white band up there, so I'll leave that white for now. There's a lot of lighter color here where there's shine around the lower face, so let's keep that light for now. Some green on the arm. Now I'm just kind of blocking in base layers of color. We're going to get a lot of cauliflowering and a bit of blowback. And some undesirable directional flow because of this paper, but we're doing our best. Try to give this froggy justice. I don't even think the tape is going to resolve this buckling. It's unfortunate. Maybe I can try to redo this little guy again on different, better paper. Probably be wise of me. That's orange. Okay. Down this little bit. Okay. I think that's it for the green. Okay, moving on to the next color. We're going to do some blue. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it looks like the previous layer, the cobalt teal and the yellow, have kind of granulated a little bit. Now we have kind of this cool multicolored effect. I like that. Happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say. Alright, just mixing up a nice blue. Probably good. It's kind of like an ocean blue color. Made from ultramarine, a little bit of cobalt teal. Neutralized a bit with some earth colors. That'll work. Some of this will have to be deepened, but layering is part of the process. There's a little bit of striping and some finer marks on him, so I have to be careful not to cover those stripes with this darker color, because they are bright. There we go. And here. Some of these spotting areas are more blue. This poor paper. Okay. There's a little bit of blue too in this one, but I don't want that to be too dark. It's kind of a mix of like blue and green, so if I kind of just... There we go. Perfect. And in here we have a lot of deep blue. And this green up here transitions into a darker blue as it gets toward the belly. We have some kind of little spotty stripes here, and then there's a very dark blue in the inner leg. This will take a couple of layers because that gets very dark in this part here. I did map out the markings with rather hard lines just for time's sake, just so that it was easy to place them all. Ordinarily I would do a little bit more blending and kind of transitions, but again, this isn't good paper and I won't have a lot of blending capability without ruining it or overworking it. So I am making some compromises, but this is, one of my earlier videos. I will get better. Just kind of gotta figure this stuff out. Soften a couple of edges. Let's see, and there's just a little bit of blue over here, this inner leg. I guess there's a little, just a bit here as it goes down into the orange. Yep, that should be good. Alright, now we have to do some orange for those feet. So we have a bit of cadmium red light here. Let's see if I can just get away with mixing it right into some of this muddy earth color I already have. And then a bunch of yellow. Might be too dark. Actually, that is quite a nice orange already. It's a lot of it though. It's way more than I need. Alright, let's see. Just kind of unload a little bit. See how this looks. Might need to be even more yellow, but start down here. Yeah, I think this color's good, but it does need to be a little bit paler, so less pigment, more water. Lift that a little bit. There we go. A little bit of letting out. And I'll do a little bit of zooming in for you guys once we get more into the details and we're not just laying down base colors. All this stage really is coloring. That's all we're doing. Just filling in some basic base colors, and then we can kind of build up lights and darks on top of that to a limited degree on this paper, but we can do a little bit. We will try. This is something I teach a lot in my workshops, about moving quickly through the initial layers. Don't belabor it. Just fill in your color. So long as you have a good initial sketch, if your drawing is correct, it's a lot easier to get the rest of it correct. But if you start out with an inaccurate drawing, or if something isn't quite right, then the rest of it will never look right. If your drawing is right, you should be able to move through these initial layers rather quickly. Alright, and there's our orange feet. Okay, so we do have a red-eyed tree frog here, so let's get his red eyes on. That should be pretty straightforward. Over here. How red are we gonna go? Pretty red. Okay. So this is basically straight cadmium red light. See how that looks? Super red, that's how. That's intense. Oh my goodness. Really good quality paint. I can't sing enough praises about Michael Harding. I've been using their oil paint for years now. It's one of my all-time favorites. They have a wide color selection and you can get it in a lot of places, so it's a pretty good quality paint to go to. There are some equally as good or maybe possibly better paints, but that are a little more expensive or harder to come by, so if you want a really great quality paint that, you know, you can get in most places and will be reliable and versatile, Michael Harding is a really good way to go, I believe. They make watercolor and oil. Maybe gouache? I actually don't know if they make anything else. But I mean, you can see even with just these, you know, base layers how gorgeous these colors look. There you go. Okay, now for the black pupil in that eye. It seems like the buckling is finally settling down a little bit on this paper. Thank goodness. It only took, like, what, half an hour? This paper is only 180 GSM, so only about half of what you want actual quality watercolor paper to be. Not recommended. Paper like this is probably good for things like dry media. It's fine for graphite, charcoal, colored pencil. It can probably only take so much erasing, but any mixed media paper should be a little bit tougher than your regular drawing paper, so it's a little bit heavier than that, but definitely dry media, not wet media for this. This poor little eye. Yeah, pretty soon we'll have to go down a brush size, so we have a little bit more control. Going to be a lot of splotching happening on this paper. I'll darken that when it dries. Okay. And then I believe we want See if I can do that with this brush. There's kind of a dark shading around the eye. Oh my god. Horrible. See if we can fix that. Dab off the brush. Just lift those edges. Now we're going to get some of this light color and striping through the belly and on the sides here. See if we can do that with this larger brush before we go down a size. So we'll start out very light, and there will be some shading that goes in here afterwards. This is just a combination of white, a smidgen of blue to cool it, and a bit of cadmium yellow light. Seems like it will work fine. Now it's a little bit paler and less saturated in the belly itself, and then it turns into a much more vibrant yellow as we get through the sides, so we'll do that as we go. Lovely. And then yellow intensify a little bit. Through here, much more saturated. Very pretty color. All these color combinations are lovely. Mother Nature is a painter too, just in a different way. Now initially this color appears to be a little, I guess you could say, darker than the surrounding colors because we haven't gone at our next layers yet. But this will pop as being a bright once the colors around it are darker. Value in color is relative. It has a lot to do with the colors around it that determine how dark or light a color looks. If the colors around it are lighter, the color you're painting is going to appear darker, and vice versa. Okay, don't want to go too crazy with this. I do want to neutralize that a bit. Oop, what happened there? Offlet a little too much water. These brushes I'm using are the Natural Squirrel from Rosemary & Co. So they're incredibly soft and they hold a ton of water. Not excellent for fine detail, but great for initial washes and blocking. Very, very soft. Okay. And then there's a bit of light striping around these areas, the arms, so let's put that in. That's probably okay. It's very similar in color to what's on the belly, so probably makes the most sense. And that is it for the base layer. Okay, and now this is where I'm going to stop talking for a bit as I work on some details and some more layers, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy the painting process. Okay, and we're back. We've given this a day to dry, and the paper appears to have gotten itself together, so it's a little more flat now, albeit not perfect, still kind of bumpy, but it doesn't look as bad. So now we're going to go in with our silver black velvet round, size 4, and take care of these feet. Okay, so now we have a little bit more color on the feet, and we probably have another layer of blues and greens to go on. Then we're going to go over the branch and deepen that with a darker brown, and then see how he looks after that. As you can see, I was able to get some depth in the branch, but the paper is also kind of reaching its limit. A lot of rippling and crinkling, even with lighter applications. So I'm going to try to do one more layer, get darks in the greens, and then the yellows in the belly and the pattern. And maybe one more go at the darks on the oranges and see if I can at least get that, and then I can maybe call this done. I guess we'll see how everything dries, but we're going to let the paper rest for now, and then we're going to do that. Okay, after a little bit more touch-ups here and there, I think that is all this paper can take, so we're gonna have to call this little guy finished. But thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and comment if you enjoyed this. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Thanks, and have a beautiful day. Bye!